I was going to kick off with just the review, but apparently there's some information or there's some news that broke today. And I got to talk about it. It's Canon related. So we're going to start off with this news report that I have now gotten from Canon. And that is the fact that we're now getting a new rumor. This is coming out of Canon Rumors, that the Canon R6 Mark III, the long-awaited and long-anticipated Canon R6 Mark III, is going to be announced on November 6th. So just under a month and some change. So just under a month. And that is, they're also going to be announcing a new 45 millimeter f1.2. So, but I think the thing that I think most people are excited about is, didn't mean to do that, sorry. But I think the thing that everybody's mostly, I'm going to cover this so I can cover some of the ads, but I think the thing that most people are excited about is the specifications of the Canon R6 Mark II. And again, they haven't given the full list of specs, but they've said they've got the core specifications that they can confirm. And it's kind of what we've heard about, except it's in a hybrid style body. And so it's going to have hybrid style features, which is going to be IBIS and an EVF. And it's looking to be a bit, just a little bit cheaper than the R6 Mark, than the Canon C50, which is going to be 28.99 euros. If anybody can convert that into the pounds, definitely let us know in the chat. But that sort of thing. So let's just go quickly over the core specifications. So it looks like it's going to be the same 34.2 megapixel sensor that is in the Canon EOS C50. It's going to be able to take 32 megapixel stills. It will have dual pixel CMOS 2. Their version 2 of autofocus. Again, it's going to have IBIS with up to 6.5 stops of in-body image stabilization. You'll have pre-capture. Just like the Canon C50, it's going to have a max frame rate of 40 frames a second in the electronic shutter. I guess the question is there going to be a mechanical shutter? There's no confirmation about that. It's going to have a max ISO of 64,000. It doesn't say anything about, let me just double check. Yeah, there's no talk about a dual native ISO. We'll see if that comes the case. But it is going to be Canon's second camera with open gate. So you're going to be able to shoot open gate. At least that's what this rumor is saying. Again, and they're expected to start shipping in late November. This is again tentative. So that's the big thing about this. So essentially what this is, it is a hybrid version of the Canon C50, which it's interesting that this came out afterwards, because obviously if this had came out, these rumors are, we don't know exactly just yet. So it's again still rumors, but it is interesting that no matter what, it's still going to be announced after the Canon C50, when people got excited, people are booking pre-orders. So for all those people that have complained about no IBIS, no EVF, you don't have to worry. You got the Canon R6 Mark III, because it looks like it's going to have pretty much a good chunk of the same features. So what are they going to take away? That's the quick question. I think most people are going to look and say it's possibly they're going to take away C-Log 2, natively C-Log 2. I expect them to shoot RAW because the R6 Mark II shot RAW. It would be really, really shocking if they didn't. So if I had to take a guess, the ability to shoot C-Log 2 is probably not going to be in there. The fact that it doesn't have a fan is going to be another thing. So there's There's now potentially uncertainty of terms of overheating. So that's possibly the difference. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can think of that could potentially be a difference, or what could be taken away. Um, Again, could they take away RAW? Sure, but it would be really, really weird that they do this with this camera when given the fact that every single other one of their cameras was able to shoot RAW internally. So I don't see that. Maybe they'll take away open gate RAW. So that's definitely a possibility. The only other thing that I could think of is that they may here's what I think they could do. Because what I think they could possibly do is limit it to where you only get CF Express type B cards. So you won't be able to shoot the higher end RAWs, internal RAWs. You may only be able to shoot LT RAW, and even that may be a stretch. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I don't know what could possibly, because essentially this is looking very similar to the Canon C50. So, like I said, for those of you that have been complaining that there's no EVF, if you're complaining that there's no IBIS, you now have that. This is a hybrid camera versus more video focus. So, as far as me, am I intrigued by the R6 Mark II? Not really, to be quite frankly with you. I think this will be intriguing, especially given the fact it's a lot more competitive in terms of its pricing, compared to the something like the Nikon ZR. So it will be really, really interesting on how I think these are going to get more compared to. So we'll see how that's going to work. But personally, I just think that, personally, I just think it's probably not going, personally, I think it's going to be very popular, but I just don't think it's for me. Like, I personally love the design. I love the design of the C50 because it's very similar, because it's basically a carbon copy of the FX3, and I absolutely love the body design of the FX3. So, but I would love to know also, I guess I should point out before I move on, we should point out about the lens, which is the RF 45mm 1.2, but we don't really know anything right now with this. So all we know right now is that it's a 45mm 1.2 and that it's going to be fairly inexpensive. It's an STM lens, which that line is typically not that super expensive, but $599 for a Canon lens, that's going to be great. You know what would also be great, Canon? If you open up your mount to third-party lenses on the full frame for autofocus. I'm just saying that would be a great. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the rumors around the Canon R6 Mark II. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. So let's move right on.